Splunk licensing. In Splunk, you license data ingested per day, not data stored. Daily indexing volume is measured from midnight to midnight by the clock on the license master. In addition to data stored, other things that do not count against your license are Splunk internal log data, duplicate data, and metadata. Splunk offers 7 different license types. First of all, we have the standard Splunk Enterprise license, and this is available through a Splunk representative, and you pay for different data consumption needs. So starting at 1 gig, you pay a certain amount of money to Splunk for certain data consumption per day needs. The Enterprise trial license downloads and installs with the product. It's limited to 500 megabytes of ingestion per day. It's valid for 60 days, and then it converts into what's called the free license. The sales trial license is where a Splunk sales representative can customize the trial license for more volume or longer durations for a specific proof of concept that you're working on. A dev test license is restricted to non-production Splunk staging environments. The free license is perpetual and never expires, but it's highly restricted. It's restricted to 500 megabytes per day of data ingestion, and it has no login, no alerting, no distributed architecture, and a few other restrictions. The Industrial Internet of Things license is a specialized license for Internet of Things use cases. It gives you access to Splunk Enterprise and a specific set of Splunk apps. The forwarder license allows a Splunk instance to be installed as a heavy forwarder. Starting with version 6.5, Splunk Enterprise no longer disables search when you exceed your licensed data ingestion quota. This is called the no enforcement policy. So here's what happens when you exceed your quotas. If you exceed your licensed daily volume on any one calendar day, you get a warning. If you get 5 or more warnings in a rolling 30-day period, you're in violation. If you're in violation, Splunk will continue to send messages, but it will not disable your search or any features. Splunk does this to allow for unexpected, temporary bursts of data volume. In a distributed environment, most Splunk Enterprise instances need access to an enterprise license. The exception is heavy forwarders, which only need a forwarder license unless they are also indexing data, in which case they need enterprise licenses. The ideal way is to set up a license master and have all of the Splunk instances in your environment talk to the master to get their licenses. A collection of licenses whose individual licensing volume amounts aggregate to serve as a single unified amount of indexing volume is called a stack. License pools are created from these license stacks. They're sized for specific purposes. The license manager manages license pools. Indexers and other Splunk Enterprise instances are assigned to a pool. Splunk recommends not assigning forwarders to a license pool since they have unique license types. Again, unless the heavy forwarder is also indexing data, then it needs the indexer type license, which is the Splunk Enterprise license. License groups are sets of license stacks. A stack can only be a member of one group, and only one group can be active at any given time. The groups are Enterprise Sales Trial, and these allow, of course, stacking of purchased enterprise licenses. Enterprise Trial is the default group that you get when you download Splunk, and you can't stack licenses on the Enterprise Trial. Free and forwarder licenses don't allow stacking. So here is how the whole architecture looks, and I have adopted this graphic from the Splunk documentation. So we have license groups as the big container, and then we have license stacks. And inside the license stacks, we have license files. These are the files you get when you purchase a Splunk license. And you can stack them so that they aggregate. And then from that aggregate, you can create a license pool, which you assign to specific instances.